and we're working with the water. So one of the water chants, which I'm going to present to you tonight, is the spirit of the plants has come to me in the shape of a beautiful dancing green woman. And when I hear this medicine song, it immediately makes me just want to get up and dance because it's got a really great lilt to it. It says, her eyes fill me with peace, her dance fills me with peace, her eyes fill me with peace, her dance fills me with peace. And if we're thinking particularly about plant medicine, what we're also doing in identifying with the plant kingdom, we're actually going there. We're taking on the consciousness of plants and communing, therefore, with the spirit of plant. And if you look way back into, so there was a occultist called Austin Osman Spare as well, who worked on something called atavistic nostalgia. And also within shamanism, there is so much shape shifting to be done into animals. Also in the druidic path as well, if you look at the tale of Ceridwen's cauldron, and when the shape shifting occurs as this huge chase happens, it's really amazing. And certainly when you're doing shamanic dancing, inviting animal spirits in, you really can embody the consciousness of an animal, however it appears to you. And at the weekend, we did a wonderful shamanic trance dance session, which was based it was a blindfolded dance session and then going into the journey with the blindfold on. It's just so amazing to watch people literally step into this non-ordinary reality as opposed to virtual reality to dance out what's happening. You see, way before virtual reality came out, there was the non-ordinary reality which always exists right within us if we just access it. It's really incredible. And so strength with water also strikes a chord of vulnerability. The reason for that is if we look through some of the share screen and let me get into some maps. If we look at some of the maps here, when we go through the medicine wheel, is that sharing that compass?
It's just small.
It's too small.
It's just like the icon thing.
Oh, right. Okay. I'm not sharing the right screen. Hang on. We'll just have a look at this. So this is one of the maps of the medicine wheel, and we've worked with strength in fire. These are some of the themes of fire. This is all in the Facebook group. If you go down to the medicine wheel 4-week tutorial, we go in depth on this there. This is one of the maps that I present on that course to explain it. So the water is actually the wounded child aspect of us. It's our emotions. It's the past. It also represents the summer, reason being it's in the south and that's where the sun's at its highest. But then also the plant kingdom and time. There's so many circles within circles when we look at the medicine wheel. But the water of strength to me resonates with vulnerability because I just feel that when I think of it, you might feel something completely different. But the woundedness is the not understanding the reason why something's happening in a particular way, such as children. You can't have that. Why can't I have that? I really want it. Cry. It's that sort of that's a wound because the child doesn't understand why the world works the way it does. The child doesn't understand why there's unfairness or why there is pain, why there is longing, why there is neglect, and all of those things bring a vulnerability in. And we carry that wound with us always, all the way through. So the wounded child aspect of us isn't necessarily something that was in the past. Just like a tree with all of its rings around it, we carry every single age of ourselves with us. We also carry the template of the ages yet to come which exist with us. So in terms of strength and water, it is about facing your vulnerabilities and standing proud with them. What strength can we take from our vulnerabilities, and what strength is there in being openly wounded, admitting to your feelings and your emotions? And one thing perhaps that I forgot to bring into last week's was definitely the physical aspect of strength, which I don't know about anyone else, but this week I started kettlebell classes, and that was definitely a physical aspect of strength and working with the body with strength. But the emotions that come there in the wounded child, there's also a few other maps which I'll share. They're so interesting to look at. And they're all based on reflection inside the medicine wheel. So one of the questions, I'll share that one as well. One of the questions of the South is how, why, or where, when was I wounded? So you have the basic 5 Ws: who, what, where, when, why. Was I wounded? Carrying that wounded child aspect. And how does that express strength or repress strength? So when we're thinking about strength with water, all of this is up for reflection. And isn't it funny we use the word reflection, because of course that's what we do when we gaze into water. So perhaps our first journey will in fact be one in which we do gaze into water and we ask that question about strength. Here's another one. Here's another map. Trust and innocence is in water, and as strength, trust and innocence can play a huge part and yet give us so much vulnerability, being trusting and innocent with it. The red parts are the enemies. So the enemies of the South are fear and inhibition or lack of self-worth. So where you've got this innocence and trust which flows through and is open, the enemy of that is in fact closing down and having fear and inhibition, no expression of emotion or creativity, or no expression of vulnerability and lack of self-worth. They can be the enemies of the South with the water. So really thinking with that, I'd like to invite us to have a journey, the first journey, to go to a pool or a body of water into which we're going to gaze in our journey. And as we gaze into the pool of water in this journey, based on the themes of the South, and I'll open the circle for anyone else to express any of their themes that they would have for the South, so we can have a kind of group energy of what the South is for us, and then just feel into our reflection and allow our reflection to dance. One of the great ways to scry and to delve into the unknown, which also is water of the South, the mystery, is to stare into a pool of water and wait to see what comes up. So how is that settled with everybody for the South? Does anybody have any other reflections on what they feel for the South and the water element with strength that they'd like to share with the group?
I just wanted to share, weird enough with you saying that, I was in a charity shop on Saturday and I found this bowl and I thought it would be so good for scrying in. Not that I even thought about, I haven't done it since I was a teenager. I just saw it and was like, that would be such a cool scrying bowl. And I had no intention of doing it. And then funny that you brought that up.
Go and fill it with water, Rob.
All
Fill
right.
it with water. Get some
We got
water
that.
in it. And so yeah.
I was curious to do with, is it masculine or feminine or both to do with the self? Do each of the, I can't remember if each of the areas have a more masculine or feminine or what's
I
what.
always find it difficult to prescribe masculine or feminine because I feel essentially like you find both within it. If you discover something, label something as masculine, then you're also labeling it as an absence of the feminine. But then the absence of the feminine is also a thing. But in terms of masculine and feminine, traditionally, you would look at water as a feminine principle. If we're being textbook in the plus and minuses, water
Yeah,
is
well,
definitely.
it did kind of make me think about masculine and feminine to do with water and how I sort of feel about it
Yeah.
personally. Hmm.
Yes. So maybe that's something to bring into that reflection in the water, the duality and a reflection of the yin and yang or the waters and how the masculine force does appear through the water or how the masculine penetrative forces affect water. So is our gazing into the water actually a penetrative act where we're breaking into the water, therefore we're being masculine and the water's receiving everything that we have? Okay. Is everybody ready for a journey? Does everybody get the story that we're having? It's just a reflection into that pond of what our strength is within the water based on how we've already shared our thoughts of what water represents. And then when you see something, be curious with whatever you see in the water. Take yourself on a journey with it. If you want to add your own colours and imaginative quirks to the water, add those in, because eventually when you start adding your own stuff into the journey, you'll be taken to a place where your shamanic consciousness will just take over and lead you somewhere wonderful. Okie dokie. Here we go. And I said I would sing this one song because I love it. It's very good. And maybe we can do a bit of chanting of it at the end. The spirit of the plants has come to me in the shape of a beautiful dancing green woman. Her eyes fill me with peace. Her dance fills me with peace. Her eyes fill me with peace. Her eyes fill me with peace. The spirit of the plants has come to me in the shape of a beautiful dancing green woman. The spirit of the plants has come to me in the shape of a beautiful dancing green woman. So here we go on our journey. 10 minutes. Take yourself to that body of water and just allow the reflection to present itself. Tai Timurai, Huranika, Huranika, hey nay, no I. Witchy tie, Timurai, Huranika, Huranika, hey nay, no I. Water spirits round my head. I'm so glad that I'm not dead. Water spirits round my head. I'm so glad that I'm not dead. Witchy tie, Timurai, Huranika, hey nay, no I. Coming back to journal and record your reflections on the strength of water. That final chant was a birthing chant sung by Santa Cruz midwives. That map as well. Or those wounded situations, just a realization of seeing this situation through that incredible strength that water has. Seeing what's happened. Catherine's dancing. Someone's dancing. Yeah, so we are looking for, we're going to go to the tree, cross the field, feel ourselves into the journey. Feel the air on our skin. Perhaps even a few sprinkles of rain coming down. And as that rain falls, let's make a small river grow and grow. And that river is flowing down the roots of the tree, inviting us to flow with it into the underworld, through the earth, through the caves, presenting us with some strengths which water has for us. to make some journal notes and in your own time reflect on your journey.